All right, here with more on the legal fallout from the Supreme Court's order to halt deportation flights, former federal prosecutor and former acting ICE director, Jonathan Fahey. Jonathan, thanks for coming in on this holiday weekend. Great to have you. Want to ask you right off the bat about this midnight Supreme Court decision and what this does to the administration's plans to deport these illegal immigrants. This has got to be a blow to the White House, no?
I wouldn't read that much into it. I think what's going on here is basically they're going to put a pause and maybe put some process in place for how to use the Alien Enemies Act. I don't think they're going to declare it improperly used or unconstitutional here. They're just probably going to put some steps in place to say you must do certain things under this to deport people. And they knew if people got deported beforehand, they wouldn't get that process. So my guess is it's going to move along and the administration will still be able to use this. And the good news is it will provide some clarity as to how to use it, when it's appropriate, when it's not. That's my expectation. Obviously, I don't have any inside knowledge, but my expectation is they will be able to continue to use this, and this is just sort of a temporary bump in the road. And remember, these people, if they were going to be deported under that, they're still at least detained in ICE custody now, so keeping the American people safe in the interim.
All right. Well, we'll be keeping our eye on that one. We also saw some developments this week in Kilmar Abrego Garcia's deportation. The whole country is watching this case. An appeals court upheld a judge's order for the U.S. to facilitate his return from El Salvador while the administration seeks to keep him in the country over his alleged ties to MS-13. So what do you think happens now?
Well, what this Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals did was basically say, send this back to the district court. We're not going to get involved in sort of how she interprets the way she manages her courtroom and conducts maybe discovery or fact findings on this issue, because the critical issue is, did the government do enough, or did they facilitate his return, or whatever the language they used. I think what's interesting about this, though, any way it breaks down, meaning they can't ultimately order the government to go into El Salvador and bring this person back. And their argument as a court will be, you have sort of this unfair power balance with El Salvador's, so they'll do whatever you want. But that's not the way foreign policy works, and that's not what the court's role. But if the administration ultimately decides, or if he ends up coming back here, the funny thing is, his reasons for his removal being withheld, because remember, he was ordered removed by two courts, finding he was a gang member, but it was withheld because El Salvador would have been too dangerous for him. Well, El Salvador, the good news is El Salvador is significantly safer